Hey TV fans, Bored now back with you. On this video I'm going to be talking about the Night Manager Series 2 Episode 3, and full spoilers for this episode as always, and more than ever I have to stress full spoilers for this episode because there's only one place to start, and that is with the game-changing twist which has freshened things up for the Night Manager moving forward. It's a twist I didn't see coming. It was absolutely brilliant. I'm going to say this is the best episode of the season anyway, because it had a little bit of a slow start the season. Anyone having any doubts, I think the way the episode ends and the twist really does get things back on track as far as people interested in watching more of this series, and I think it really could play a part and have a ripple effect in the show moving forward, and even into series 3, because we know there's going to be a series 3. And because of the way this episode ends, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a cliffhanger at the end of series 2 and then that leads into series 3, which of course wasn't the case with the original series. There was no cliffhanger there. Richard Roper is still alive at the end of this one. Hugh Laurie is back in the Night Manager. And this was a bit of a stroke of genius from the producers, because going into the season, he wasn't even in the cast list as far as I could tell. Twist that makes a lot of sense because of the way they've been referencing Richard Roper and the original case, and that this new villain they've got, DeSantos, called the Roper Disciple. By all intents and purposes, he's been carrying on his work, and one of my main complaints so far this season is that he just feels like a lesser villain to Laurie's Roper originally, and that he just didn't really stack up, and that was the main weak point for me, is that he just doesn't. At the moment, Pine just doesn't have that natural great villain to play off against. So this changes things in a big way. And as I said in the first episode, the ghost of Richard Roper hanging over the show. So in many ways, they may as well have pulled this out the bag and have him still be alive. How that changes the dynamics, it will be very interesting to see. There's always the possibility this will turn out to be Richard Roper's brother or something like that, which really would piss me off. But I suspect it's not. I think it is the real deal. Pine, as I'll just call him, he's going by Matthew in this storyline. But Pine gets intel on this benefactor for Teddy and the arms deal. And the benefactor, I think his name he's going by Gilberto Hansen, and Pine believes he is key to the whole thing. He's told by Sally then, well, he can't be because he's dead. Apparently, he died 2 years ago, which is very interesting when you see what the twist is, because of course Richard Roper is supposedly dead as well. Pine tracks them to this get-together. Guests arriving. Pine is hiding in the bushes, listening in. And we hear talk of like various things, but we don't actually see the person who's supposed to be hosting the party, which is Gilberto Hansen. And we hear someone address him at one point, and he steps out, and it's Roper in a beard. So it's Richard Roper, who is still alive, pretending to be Gilberto. My only problem with this scene, it's just a small nitpick, is how loud the ADR is. And that was a bit jarring, because you could tell, well, they've just put it loud so that us, the viewer, and also Pine can clearly hear it. Like, you can tell it's louder than it should be with Game Changer, because I was definitely getting into the season a bit more and finding things more interesting, and I'll talk more about the case and how it goes in this episode anyway. But I think this is just a little bit of an extra twist, which makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously, they've got to explain for what reason Roper is still alive and how and what they've done with it. I will be really pissed if it turns out to be his identical twin brother. Definitely got to explain, like, how come he is still alive. I guess it would be very easy if you've got the resources to fake his dead body. The other good thing about this is it does add a bit more luster to the lead villain. Like, even if Roper isn't now the lead villain, which I don't think he will be, like, you can still make him like a second villain who's like backing the lead villain up and making him seem more credible. It has me wondering also is, could this lead to more people appearing from the past? Like, could we still have Elizabeth Debicki in this season? Because I'm pretty sure she's not supposed to be in it. Like, again, I haven't seen her in the cast list, but because Hugh Laurie appears now, then that leads me to think, well, maybe she could be in it as well. There's also reference to Angela Barr in this episode, and I'm convinced we're going to see at least one other appearance from Olivia Colman at some point. Does this undermine Roper's brilliant death in season 1? How will they explain it? Will there be another big death for Roper? Or will he get arrested? Or will he win? That's another question. Like, will he actually win this season where he didn't win in the original show? Brilliantly handle twist, and it absolutely changes things. Besides the Roper twist, I did think this was the strongest episode of the season so far, with the drama between Roxana and Pine and the tension of the case and the ticking time bomb being more fascinating than ever before, and how they made it hard to predict exactly Roxana's side, whose side she's on. So we start off with Pine still drunk, or at least he could be pretending to be unconscious as he listens to Teddy tell his man to take the briefcase, and he also tells Roxana to keep an eye on him. So Matthew and Roxana spend the night together to keep up appearances, and I quite enjoy this stuff. Roxana reveals the shipment is of illegal British arms, and he tells her to tell Teddy he accepts the deal. Once again, she repeats that if she helps him, she wants immunity. So this stuff is a little bit retreading the stuff from last week, but I don't mind too much because of where it leads. And he's very forcefully saying, you're out when you say we're out. And she stands up to him like, don't threaten me. I quite like the line about, you don't even know my name, or I don't even know your name, but trust me, I'm in control. And that's been quite a fun dynamic, who exactly is in control. Like, at times this episode, you're wondering, how drunk is Pine? How much of this is part of his plan? And I think Roxana's an intriguing character because you can't quite tell where she's coming from. And she's a very different character to Elizabeth Debicki's in the first season. So that makes her quite interesting, exciting. There's quite a bit of depth to her by the end of the episode. Teddy has Roxana and Pine followed. They act as the perfect couple. Later, when he sneaks into Teddy's room for the code to the suitcase, he only finds it empty. Pine hides when Teddy walks in. He learns of a mystery benefactor, Gilberto Hansen, who Pine thinks is key to the operation, as I said before. Roxana claims she hasn't heard of him. And I think as the episode goes on, I'm pretty sure she is telling the truth about that. Later, Sally tells Pine, of course, Hansen died 2 years ago. Teddy shoots up some drugs, then prays. And this is nicely paid off near the end of the episode, where he finally trusts Pine and takes him to a temple so he can pray. So that scene is almost him letting Pine into his life and saying, you're someone I can open up to and trust, because he's been very cautious up to now. Roxana tells Pine that if the money doesn't end up in the account by tomorrow, she's walking, saying she'll take her chances. So this makes her quite a ballsy character, adding intrigue at this point, and that she really has nothing to lose, and we find out why later in the episode. So I do like the exciting back and forth between these two. We have the three-way dance, get a little bit of Teddy and Pine flirting with each other, so that's something where it's dipping a little bit more into a modern kind of sexuality, where maybe these two guys being a bit more modern would be up for that kind of thing. Pine reveals that he knows more than he's letting on, though, in a drunken rant. Again, is he in control or is he just desperate? This turns up the heat on Teddy and also Roxana. Roxana stays firm when she's questioned by Victor. She got Pine drunk. Anything he learned was before she met him, and she is very convincing. With Victor distracted later on, Roxana makes a photocopy of the shipping list. Rex, and the fact that this is linked to the British government, then there's probably going to be a big list, a big British government official on this list. She gives it to Pine the next day and opens up about working for Teddy because she needs the money, revealing a dark past with parents killed by guerrilla gangs. They do have common ground, and it seems like she might be one of the good guys after all. The tense scene of Pine being questioned by Teddy, and to buy himself some time, he says the money will be in the bank account in an hour. Teddy says, if not, you're dead. And at first it looks like it's not in the bank account. But then the twist is, as we're cutting between the two scenes, Basil persuades Maya to release money into a dummy account, which of course is tied to Rex, because Basil has been doing some digging into the case for Maya, who has an interest which she hasn't let on to anyone else. And this saves Pine's life. And I think that scene is maybe the one complaint about the episode, because it does feel a little bit convoluted, and I would like to see more of Maya, because I do like India Famira, and I think she's good, but so far her stuff has felt like more of a subplot. I'm happy to see where it leads, though, of course, and the fact that Rex was involved in this stuff is like an intriguing subplot. But this episode is fun, definitely the strongest of the season, and you've got that game-changing episode, of course. So that's the Night Manager Series 2, Episode 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe as always. I am doing this show weekly, so you can get in on the conversation before the next episode. And you can also support me, patreon.com/borednow, for some added commentaries and extra perks there. Or you can become a channel member at 3 different tiers with various perks there too. But thanks for listening, guys. Take care. See you soon.